Oh, you saw the title. This video is about to get very real, sis. So go ahead and grab yourself a snack. Go ahead and grab yourself a beverage because we are going to talk about it. Okay, we are about to talk about sex. So you had a come to Jesus moment. You got saved, you found the Lord, and you thought, surely all of the temptations, all of the old things that used to take me down, I'm not going to struggle with these anymore. They're in the rearview mirror of my life. That's a thing of my past. I don't live there anymore. So we are onwards and upwards, right? So why am I still struggling with sexual temptation? Why do I still want to go out here and live my best hot girl life? What is wrong with me? Sis, nothing is wrong with you. I'm here to tell you that honestly, if you walk with the Lord for any amount of time, you're going to have battles with any sort of old temptation you used to have. And sex is a very, very, very difficult thing to stop engaging in willy-nilly if you ever did. I'm not saying you were loose or nothing like that. I'm just saying we all have a past. We all have been somewhere and have done some things. If it wasn't sex, it was something else, but you catch my drift. Anyways, I digress. The point is that you are not odd for continuing to still struggle with it. I mean, a lot of people in the church, I'm going to be completely frank, are having sex. And I'm not saying that as a license to like, yeah, go live your best life, go do what you want to do. I'm saying it so that you don't feel like you are the only one, that you don't feel like something is wrong with you and everybody else has it figured out and they don't have the same struggles. A lot of people have the same struggles. It's just that not everybody ends up coming out of that struggle the same way. Not everybody ends up in the same consequences because of that struggle. You get where I'm going with this, but trust and believe there's a lot of things going on with sexual temptation and sexual sin amongst the body of believers. So you are not alone. Don't beat yourself up, okay? In all actuality, the desire to have sex is not a dirty thing. It's not wrong. God gave us that desire. Sex is amazing. Sex is beautiful. I mean, obviously, I'm a whole mom out here. Christian did not come through the Immaculate Conception, all right? We all know how we got here. So sex is an amazing thing. But with that being said, we also have to start having more authentic and transparent and honest conversations about sex amongst the body of believers because you know, we have to just accept the fact that, like I said, adults are going to do what they want to do. They are out here doing it all and then some, and they're not saying it, but at some point for a lot of us, the proof comes in the pudding. For me, the proof came when I got pregnant with my son. You know, some people, they go through different things behind the scenes and it never comes to light, and it is what it is. That doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. And so a lot of singles are struggling because they feel like something is wrong with them because they still have sexual urges. And we're living in a society where people are getting married later and later and later, and we're telling people to wait and hold on. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, okay? Please don't come for my neck, saints, all right? Just hear me out. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We should be waiting. We should be honoring God with our bodies, but we also have to recognize that we have some serious obstacles that were not presented to us even 30, 40 years ago. You know, people getting married later, the over-sexualization of society, can I speak? You know, all of these things that were not necessarily as overt, or they just did not exist years ago. And so it's not that it's impossible to wait. I mean, hello, your girl's been abstaining for years, but it's the fact that the strength to do so is going to have to be a lot stronger because we're up against different obstacles. And this is why a lot of people give in, because it's easy to say, hold out until you get married, when your likelihood of getting married young is higher if you are in a certain environment, you know, if you are in a relationship that's looking like it's heading to marriage, if you're in a small town, maybe, like, you know, I'm just throwing out different factors that impact our lives. But if you know that like everyone in your family gets married by the age of 21 to 25, it's a little easier to tell someone to hold out versus, or to abstain, you know, if they are not a virgin anymore, versus saying hold out and abstain if they are in their 30s, 40s, 50s and still waiting to get married and they have experienced it, but they're trying to walk with the Lord. God is faithful to help us through it all, but I'm just saying we cannot ignore the realities that a lot of people are out here waiting for that spouse that may never come, and that's why they're going ahead and doing what they want to do. At the end of the day, God, like I said, is faithful. He's a loving Father. There's nothing that you can do to rip away your salvation or your love, his love for you from him, or whatever I'm trying to say, for him to basically stop loving you. But it's a real struggle out here. And as a result, like I said, a lot of singles are struggling. So if you're a single watching this in the body and you're struggling, you're not alone. A lot of married couples struggle too because we lack to have healthy and authentic conversations about sex in the church, in the body of Christ, you know? So a lot of people get married and they still struggle with intimacy and having sex because it's like you're taught all these years, bad, 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 don't think about it, don't want it, don't do this, don't do that. So by the time you get in the context of where you can enjoy it, now you're struggling to connect with your husband or your wife. You're struggling to have intimacy. You're struggling to have a healthy sex life. This is real, y'all. Look it up. It's real, you know? And so I'm not saying that we should just be out here doing what we want to do. Trust me, I'll be the first to say that having sex outside of marriage, while I enjoyed it in the moment, it did come with a lot that I just had to deal with after the fact, and a lot of consequences that I'm still recovering from years later. So I'm not going out here saying like, yeah, just do you. Like, honor God with every bit of your life, and your body is included. And God can definitely give you the strength to withhold and to abstain, even if you have spent years just doing what you want to do in your sexual life. He is faithful to restore. He is faithful to give you the strength. But I'm not going to sit here and act like these things don't exist, because the numbers speak for themselves. I'm not going to give you all the stats. You could Google it and look it up on your own time, but the body of believers definitely is amongst the highest when it comes to the sex industry of patrons and onlookers in that industry. So we just got to be real with it. And the minute that we start being real and having these honest conversations, like I always say, we can start to have true deliverance. God's ultimate design for sex was really to be enjoyed between a husband and wife, because at the end of the day, God is Alpha and Omega. He is all-knowing. He is all-being. He is omnipotent, omniscient, all of the things. So when he gives us principles to live by, it's for our own good, because he understands the pain that could come from when we do it our own way. You know, but of course, we're stubborn. We're humans. We're going to do what we want to do because we feel like, can't nobody tell me nothing. I'm grown. I'm going to live my life. Woo, woo, woo. So, you know, at the end of the day, adults are going to do what they want to do. And that's why I'm having this very candid conversation. And I'm not just regurgitating like the things that we've all heard time and time and time and time again, because the numbers don't lie. And we have to start having these authentic and transparent conversations so we can actually move in a better direction. You know what I'm saying? But it's really something that is intended for our good, because there's nothing like laying down with someone and you feel like you still can't really depend on them. You still really can't be vulnerable with them and emotionally naked with them. You can get physically naked with them, but they don't want to hear about your hopes, your dreams, your fears, your doubts. They don't care about you as a person. They just want to use you as a sexual outlet to release onto you and be on their way. They don't want to be there for you. They don't want to walk life with you. They don't want to open up to you or have you open up to them. And that's just not a good feeling, sis. It really isn't. Like, honestly, like I said, the ideal is to wait until you're married, or, you know, obviously if you are not a virgin anymore, to abstain until you're married. But adults are going to do what they want to do. So I'm not advocating for this. I'm not saying go ahead and just do what you want to do. But I understand that you're going to do what you want to do, whether I advocate for it or not. I know that was a lot, but you get what I'm saying. So if you're still going to go out and do it, please protect yourself, okay? Your health cannot be at risk. Protect yourself and give it to somebody that you know is going to be there for you. If he is not there for you as a woman, if he's not someone that you can be emotionally naked with, that you can be emotionally vulnerable with, that has proven to actually care about you as a woman, as a person, as a human, don't give it up to him, because a few moments of pleasure are honestly, maybe not even that. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but a few moments of pleasure is not worth you feeling like a piece of you is continuously gone every time you lay down with a man. Like, just don't do it, you know? And I was in relationships like that, where I was in a relationship with this man and I still felt like I was giving more than he was giving me. Like, I couldn't fully 100% be myself. So I'm not even speaking from a standpoint of literally just being for the streets. I'm just saying, like, you know, sometimes you're with a man and you feel like you are not really yourself, because that goes into a whole other conversation of feeling like you have to have a man to be valuable. And this is what we have to stop telling our daughters, that their value is in having a man, and that having a man means that you obviously are a great woman. Like, again, another video for another day, but the codependency is real in in these streets, and the low self-esteem and self-worth is real. So don't allow society to make you feel like you have to be out here just dipping and doing it, because society is very two-faced. It's very double-minded. On one end, they're going to say, yeah, do what you want, sleep with this person, do this, that, and the third. It's all fun. It's all games. It's your body. It's whatever you want to do. You're grown. Can't nobody tell you nothing. Who gonna check you? You know, but then on the flip side, when, heaven forbid, you know, you become a single parent or you catch a disease or anything like that, then it's you were loose, you were irresponsible, you were a woman of the night, you have poor judgment. How could you let that happen? You should have been smarter, this, that, the third. So if you live to please society, you're going to go with the winds of life. You're going to be tossed in every which way direction. This is why it's best to live by God's principles, because he already knows, like, there's nothing new under the sun. Culture has changed a lot. The obstacles that we face has changed a lot, but the bottom line has not changed. The foundation of which God ideally wants us to live our lives has not changed. And he is faithful to give you the strength to walk out abstinence if that's what you truly want to do. But here's the thing. God is also a God of forgiveness. And because he's a God of forgiveness, even if you stumble in your abstinence journey, even if you say, okay, I'm gonna wait till marriage, and you find yourself engaging in sex, he is faithful to forgive. You have to remember that God is your father. And as a parent myself, I can tell you right now, there's nothing that my son can do that could take away the love that I have for him. And there's nothing that he can do that can stop him from being my son. He's always going to be my son. I'm always going to love him. Even if his life goes in directions that I wish that it doesn't, I'm always going to love him. He's always going to be my son. Point blank, period. That's why Mary had a little lamb, okay? So God is the same way. God is always going to love his children. He's always going to love you as a daughter of the Most High. He's always going to be there for you. There's nothing that can take away your position in God's family. So even if you find yourself stumbling, have grace on yourself. Dust yourself off, pick yourself back up, and keep walking that out day by day. You know, the Lord is faithful, like I said, to give you the strength to abstain if you really want it, but he also is a forgiving and loving father, and he understands the temptations that we face. He knows what you're going to do before you even do it. So don't feel like you have to run from him or you have to be a different type of person, but at the same time, give it your best shot, because you can abstain if you really put your mind to it. It's not easy, sister. It's not easy. But if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. And he will be faithful to guide you along the way and to encourage you and to give you the strength. And having people around you that can help you walk that out also helps as well. But ultimately, like I said, be safe, be smart, have discernment, and just aim to honor God in every aspect of your life. Don't do it because I'm telling you to do it. Do it because you genuinely want to, and because you want to honor God with your life. Because it's not about me. I don't control your salvation. It's all God. So just pray on it. Talk to him, ask him to help you in this journey, and just find the right community that can help you walk it out and that you can be honest with, because we don't have time for being fake and for the platitudes and the cliches, all right? Not when we're trying to have real turnaround and breakthrough. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope that this video encouraged you. Honestly, it was more laid back, more conversational. It's just something I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to share a video or maybe a live. I'll see what I feel like doing about abstaining and just my own journey in more detail. But either way, share this with a friend. Let me know in the comments down below what was helpful for you or anything you have questions on. And I will see you guys on the live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.